Buying Dirt is presented by 601 Sports, Bruce Gray Lamb Pro, Casco Cleaning Solutions, Chase Buckles Mortgage Advisor, Culbertson Cattle Company, Culbertson Concrete Pumping Service, Kirk Douglas Heating and Cooling, Levi Patton Farm Bureau, Southern Ag Credit, Southwest Mississippi NDA Branch, Southwest Mississippi Wildlife Expo, and United Country McDaniel Gray Realty.
Buy dirt, find the one you can't live without.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Buying Dirt, where we talk about everything outdoor and real estate related. We are glad that you're with us this morning. We hope that everybody's doing well. Easter is come and gone. I hope you had a good time with family and friends, and springtime is beautiful, and we're excited about the spring and the warmer months to come. We have a special guest with us today, Mr. Chase Buckles. Chase, how are you today?
Doing great, Bruce. Doing great. Really appreciate the opportunity to come on the show here. It's always a pleasure. And, hey, we can't have Keith with us, but he's always a trip. But really appreciate the opportunity, man. Yeah,
Keith is on a trip out west. I think he's in the state of Utah with his family this morning. I texted him earlier today. He sent me some pictures. There's pretty countryside, snow-topped mountains out there. It's real pretty. So I told him, I said, man, y'all enjoy and have a good time, and we'll see you next week. So Chase is a mortgage advisor with Neo Home Loans. Chase, tell us a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I know I've been on before, had came over to Neo Home Loans, poweredbybetter.com. I guess it was last October, and man, it's been a blessing for sure. Yeah.
Well, we wanted to have Chase on to talk about the mortgage, the lending side. And as realtors, we've talked about this many times on the show, we work with all types of buyers. Some experienced buyers, Chase, and I'm sure you've dealt with very experienced buyers who've been through this process before. But also there's the new buyers, just the first-time home buyers, and we talked about this before many times, that most people just don't make this transaction every year, right? It's really just a few times in their lifetime. So it can be intimidating. It can be somewhat discouraging. But Chase is here to tell us what makes him and his company different, as well as the process itself and what people can expect. So what information can you share with us, Chase?
Yeah, so, I mean, it can be a beast of just like a process, and it can be scary, but we do everything that we can to make mortgages as easy as possible. And at the end of the day, it really just boils down to a few things, credit, income, assets, and then, of course, the team that you plug into, being your loan officer, or in my case, mortgage advisor, and then, of course, having a good real estate agent.
Right. Well, give us some ideas. I mean, what are we looking at?
Okay. So I guess from the top down, the biggest thing is just knowing what your buying power is. I mean, like I said, everybody's got an opinion. It's you should be in this program, or you should be in that program, or your credit score's got to be 800, or you got to have 10 grand saved in the bank to buy a house. A lot of these things, they are, some are true, some are myths. So, we're here to kind of unpack that and go a little bit deeper into, the ins and outs and what you need to have to make it happen, right?
That's right. That's right. So I've got just a couple of questions, and these are questions that I sat down this morning and I wrote down some general questions that buyers have asked me in the past. And it's just, I think you won't have any problem with these, but what types of mortgages are out there?
Yeah, so, I mean, now that I would say that's probably a loaded question, but you've got conventional, you have FHA, you have USDA, you have bank statement loans out there. There's what's called DSCR loans, or debt service coverage ratio loans. Those are fantastic programs for the people who are consistently buying rental properties and stuff. But, I mean, there's the whole saying is different strokes for different folks, and that really is the case with the types of mortgages that are out there.
That's right. And I think that's where the intimidating part comes in, because a lot of people are just afraid to even reach out and get the ball rolling because they don't want to come across as somebody that's not experienced. And really, they don't know what's the best option for them. So the best way for them to discover that is just talk to an advisor, right?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I was telling Bruce earlier, I think, in this business, things can be backwards at times, meaning, okay, well, just talk to somebody, get an approval letter, piece of paper, or go shopping for a house, and then when you get under contract, start looking at, numbers. Here at NEO, we do things a little bit differently. Of course, like when we talk through your dreams, goals, aspirations, what you want to accomplish, and why you're buying a house in the first place, just to make sure we keep the main thing. And then we roll right into, okay, hey, well, after we get those dreams, goals, aspirations, we'll reverse engineer, with whatever loan program that would make the most sense for you and your family. And then, of course, begin to kind of strategize behind that as far as what strategy works best for you.
That's right. You mentioned down payment a while ago, and it's a myth out there that you got to have $10,000 in the bank to be able to do that. So this is a legitimate question that a lot of people have. I hear this all the time. How much do I need to put down?
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of a loaded question as well, but it can also range from 0%. I mean, if we go VA, if you're a veteran, you served in the U.S. military, you qualify for a VA loan, you can put 0% down. You can also go USDA, put 0% down. And then, of course, if you're a first-time home buyer, you can put as little as 3% down on a conventional mortgage, which is great. And, then, of course, you got FHA, minimum down 3.5%.
That's right. Interest rates. That's a question we get all the time. And you hear that in the news daily, and rightfully so. I mean, it's something to be concerned about. But realistically, as of today, what are we looking at in terms of interest rates?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has been a roller coaster, Bruce, with everything going on, and global conflict has not been kind to the market. It's been a rather much a roller coaster when it comes down to that. My answer to that is really always whatever you want it to be. I mean, again, here at NEO, we give you the autonomy to make that decision for you and your family as to what's most comfortable for you, being, okay, is it the lowest rate and bringing the most money to the table, or is it taking a little bit higher rate and keeping your cash to close as low as possible? I would say on an average right now, you're probably ranging between, low to mid fives on the low end, and then of course on the high end you're probably mid to high sixes. I know it's kind of a big range, but
it just depends on your situation.
It's going to vary on the day as well.
That's right.
I mean, we had a good day yesterday. Got a little bit back, but I mean, it is very important that you stay informed. If you're already pre-approved and you are looking to buy a house, you need to be. This should be something whoever you're working with should be communicating to you as far as where interest rates are.
Yeah, I agree.
That kind of stuff.
That's right.
Because it will impact your buying power.
That's right. All right, this is a question I get all the time. When someone finds a home and they decide to make an offer, and part of the contract is we put a proposed closing date. That's their question. How long is all this going to take? And that's kind of what makes you guys different from everybody else. I'll let you explain that.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, that's another one of those questions that we always say is it's going to go as fast or as slow as you want it to, right? I mean, of course, when tasks come up, you completing those tasks, you doing everything that you can to kind of move it forward, as a client, that definitely helps things move faster. I mean, the industry outlook standard is between 30 and 60 days, but we definitely can get them done a lot faster than that. I want to think the last one that we did with Bruce's group, we were clear to close in 10 days from start to finish.
That's right.
But we had a great client that pretty much completed everything that they needed to right off the bat. So
yeah, and it's important for you, I think, I'll just add this. You as a buyer, when you meet with your mortgage advisor and he or she gives you a list of things that you need to get to them, you really need to get that to them as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
Because that dictates how long it's going to take. And I realize it may be a little bit hard to get your hands on some things, and, life just happens, right? But it's very important that you do that because if not, it can stretch out for a long period of time, which tends to frustrate the sellers, which is not where you want to be as well if you're a buyer, right?
Right.
What documents do I need for pre-approval?
So I'm going to say it's going to be based on your overall situation, right? So if you're a pay stub W-2 employee, it's going to be pretty straightforward and simple.
Right.
Right. You're going to get your pay stub. You're going to get your last 2 years W-2s. If you're self-employed, you're going to need your taxes, depending on what those taxes say and how much income we have to work with based on the amount of taxes that you pay. We might pivot or go a different direction there,
That's right. All right. Once I get pre-approved, if I'm a buyer and I get pre-approved, how long does that last?
So the outlook is always at the very least 90 days, and then again, if we reevaluate in 3 months and we're still looking, we can just, as long as nothing changes, right? Don't quit your job. Don't spend all your money that you're looking to use for cash to close. Don't rack up a bunch of credit card debt. So as long as none of that's changed, it's super easy, super simple just to renew the approval letter.
Right. So what would be your advice to a buyer who comes talk to you as a mortgage advisor and they get that pre-approval going and they've now made an offer on a home and they're in a contract maybe, or they're, at least they're considering it. And then they'd say, let's go down here to the local furniture store and let's go shopping. Is that a wise decision in some cases?
My end-all be-all answer is no, right? I mean, of course, you get in a new house, the human thing is, okay.
You start planning for it.
New house, going to go ahead and start buying paint. We're going to paint this room. We're going to get this furniture. We're going to make the backyard look like this. We're going to start building a fence. I mean, all that's great. I want it for you as a client, but in the spirit of transparency and qualifying here, just don't do it. It can wait. We can buy that new couch the day after we close. It's completely up to you.
That's right. It's okay to go look at the things, but it's probably not wise to do anything that's going to affect your credit, which could, and we've seen situations like that where it affects whether or not the loan is whether you get the final approval, which is what you want, right? You want that clear to close email or call that says we're ready to go.
That's right.
Instead of saying, well, we got a problem and we need to get this fixed before we move forward. How long does a rate lock last?
So I'm going to, I would say it's going to be based on how far out your closing date is, right? So if you're in the process of building a home and the house ain't going to be finished for 8 months, that's not something that we're going to push you or advise you to just go ahead and lock an interest rate in, just because a lot can change in that time period. I mean, of course, like I said, it's been a roller coaster here in the last, month or two, much less 6, 8, 10, 12 months.
Right.
Can range from 15 days all the way up to 180 days, just completely up to your preference too.
That's right. And I get this question all the time because when someone makes an offer, there's more to just a contract than just the money that you're buying the house. It's the closing cost, and you have to discuss who's paying what closing cost. Well, you may say, well, the seller's paying their part and the buyer's paying their part, and this always leads to the next question as the buyer: what's my closing cost going to be? And they're asking me that as a real estate agent, and I may not be familiar with what type of loan they're getting, so I advise them to go talk to their mortgage advisor, which is you.
Right.
What do you say to them?
Man, I say that the general consensus is between 3 and 5% of whatever you're buying the house for. I know that's kind of a wide span, but just to kind of unpack that a little bit more, I mean, majority of it is going to be third party. That's your appraisal. That's your title work. That's, of course, you'll be setting up an escrow account if you do decide to escrow, which, again, that's kind of another layer there. Yeah. And then, of course, whatever you decide to do with your interest rate. If you want the lowest rate and the highest cost, or you want the highest rate and the lowest cost, that's completely up to you. We give you the autonomy to make that decision. And then, of course, you got your process and underwriting and stuff like that. But I mean, it's different for everybody. It's going to be different based on the type of loan program that you're in. But I would say a general consensus is 3 to 5%. You're pretty safe as just shooting that off the cuff.
Right. So, my opinion is you just calculate the high side of it.
That's right.
And it's probably going to be a little bit less than that. But
right.
At least you're prepared for that.
Mm-hmm.
So There's a lot to unpack here. I mean, obviously, if and understandably so, Chase. I mean, for a lot of buyers, this is intimidating. It's part of the reason why a lot of people choose to rent as opposed to buying, because renting is easier, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, it really is. It's a lot easier. You can move quickly if you need to, mm-hmm. but there's nothing like owning your own place.
That's right. Well, I mean, renting, you hit the nail on the head. It gives you the liquidity to move if you need to or you want to, or something comes up, or you're changing jobs, got to get a kid in a different school district, right. Whatever the case is. But you know what the interest rate is on renting, Bruce?
What's that?
100%. So, the whole thing is interest rates are so high, the sky's falling. Well, I guarantee it's cheaper than the interest rate on rent. So,
that's right.
Buying a house, owning property, and in this case, buying dirt. That is the American dream. The amount of people that have accumulated generational wealth because of real estate, is a gaudy number.
All right, so if someone's listening today and they're considering buying a home, tell them how they can get in contact with you and maybe give them some advice. Yeah, so
the first piece of advice that I can give you is get qualified. Talk to somebody. I would advise you to talk to your mortgage advisor, figure out where you land, how much house you can afford, what you're comfortable with. My door's always open. Feel free to reach out to me at any time. Like I said, my name's Chase. I'm with Neo Home Loans. My direct phone number here is 601-384-7670. That's my personal cell phone number. So feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text anytime, and we can set up some time and kind of talk through what you're looking to do and how we can help you.
Thank you, Chase. We appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. And we'd love to have you back in the future, hopefully when the market gets a little more stable and things really, because I really think it's coming. It's just a matter of time before that happens.
It is. I mean, we were on a good stretch. Of course, global conflict affects all that stuff. Yeah. But, the biggest thing here, as a professional, a financial professional, and, as a client, control what you can, and the rest is going to work itself out.
That's right.
That's
right. Sun's going to come up tomorrow.
That's
Life
right.
goes on.
That's
so
right.
Get out and enjoy it, and spend time with your family and make memories, and I promise you won't regret it. So, all right. Thank y'all. I hope everyone has a good week, and we'll give Keith a hard time when he gets back next week. Y'all have a good week. We'll see you later.